calendar, please.
Hathaway.
Here.
LaSchultz.
Here.
Burns.
Here.
Gilbert.
Here.
Chartrand.
Here.
Morahan.
Here.
Hulzer.
Here.
Legislator Osborne has been excused. King.
Here.
Dahlhoff.
Here. Please stand for the invocation of the pledge of the flag. We gather together here today intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom. We seek to serve with respect for all. May our personal faith give us strength to act honestly and well in all manners before us. This flag the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. If there are no amendments to the 1/7/2020 board minutes, they stand approved. Anyone have any corrections? Report of the Finance and Rules Committee per Rule 6. Sandra?
The Finance and Rules Committee has met and they recommend to waive rules to act upon late resolutions.
Need a motion? Andrea, second. Randy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Privilege of the floor, we have 7 people signed up. I'll read off the name, and that person please come to where these pointed doors are and state your name and address for the record. And we have 5 minutes to keep your peace. So first on the list is Ivo Bailey. Thank you.
My name is Ivo Bailey, spelled B-E-A-U, last name B-A-I-L-E-Y. I live with my wife, my 2 children in Lyons Falls, town of Lionsdale. Our governments were designed of, by, and for the people. We, the people, control the government, not the other way around. Our state's government has systematically transcended the people's control, and we're saying enough is enough. I'm here this evening as a voice for thousands of residents of the county who are fed up with the tyranny in this state's government. This group is specifically concerned with the constant attacks on the people's right to keep and bear arms, an inalienable right to security protected by the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. On January 4th of this year, a social media campaign kicked off with the purpose of making Lewis County a Second Amendment sanctuary county. This group of county residents find the New York State government under the leadership of Andrew Cuomo guilty of tyrannical practices, overstepping their bounds and recklessly violating liberties of the people guaranteed to us by the Constitution of the United States. A central group of us collaborated and initiated a petition to the county to adopt the Second Amendment Sanctuary Ordinance, also referred to as SASO or SAYSO. I provided a copy to the Legislative Board prior to the meeting. The response to the petition was overwhelmingly positive. more than 40 copies of the petition ended up in circulation, many being requested and administered by businesses all over our county. Since January 13th, the petition to adopt the say-so has garnered 2,961 signatures by the voters in all legislative districts of Lewis County. The say-so document and the petition are here to be submitted to the board this evening. We understand that not every resident of the county feels the same way as us. Much like in revolutionary times, there were loyalists that did not agree with declaring independence from Britain. We recognize that there is likely opposition to our cause here this evening. Just as we are exercising our constitutional right to assemble, to demonstrate, and to speak, we will honor theirs as well. I caution you, however, you'll likely be given a slew of statistical data. I spent more than 15 years as a math educator and became a nationally recognized and respected math curriculum developer. I know the power of statistical data and how it can be very convincing in arguments. However, the details of how data is collected or how its variables are defined can and are often used to mislead. For example, according to the New York State Department of Criminal Justice, in each of the years 2016, 2017, and 2018, there were 3 incidents of violent crimes recorded in Lewis County involving firearms. That might sound alarming. However, what the data does not tell you is that quote-unquote violent crimes includes suicides. A suicide using a personal firearm is not a malicious use of firearms toward another individual and can therefore hardly be categorized as a violent crime. This is a prime example of how lack of definition in statistical variables can mislead readers to believe in false trends. The citizens of this county have been impacted over the past 50+ years with changes and declines in its economy and a major shift in representation, or lack thereof, by our state government. As a result, many citizens have become stoic while their liberties are continuously attacked by the powers in Albany. We the people say, enough is enough. We know that taking this stand might come with consequences, but that is a gamble that we the people are willing to take because our rights are not for sale. We the people are willing to deal with any repercussions from the governor, including attacks on us through the state budget, because the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Period. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Good job.
Patrick Morris.
Patrick Morris, Patrickmorse. I live in the town of New Bremen. And for those who don't know, I just had someone check the crowd. It goes all the way down the stairs. It fills the entire hallway downstairs, and it's backed up to security. So if we do another one of these, we might want to think of a different venue.
Yes.
The Second Amendment sanctuary ordinance before you would only affect New York State firearm laws. We would still be subject to a host of federal laws. Federal laws such as the National Firearms Act of 1934, the Federal Firearms Act of 1938, the Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 68, the Gun Control Act of 68, the Fireowners Protection Act of 86, the Undetectable Firearms Act of 88, the Gun-Free School Zones Act of 1990, the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act of 1993. As you can see, gun owners are already heavily regulated, and enough is enough. Here in New York State, there are another 113 laws dealing with firearms, 24 of which are in the penal law. The most well-known of those is the New York SAFE Act, which that act alone is 54 pages in length and deals with a multitude of regulations. Remember, this law was passed in less than 24 hours with absolutely 0.0 input from gun owners. It is riddled with flaws, and portions have already been ruled unconstitutional. For those who say we are paranoid that no one will take our guns, the SAFE Act already did it. Magazines had to be destroyed or sold out of state. Family-owned firearms could not be kept upon an owner's death or move out of state. And deer rifles, with a simple muzzle brake, became so-called assault weapons overnight. Fast forward to 2019, we had a dramatic shift in representation in Albany. 8 new gun laws were passed. No bipartisan support whatsoever. I will talk about one and only one, the Safe Storage Act. It was a whopping 1 page, 2 paragraphs. First paragraph dealt with, keeping guns away from 3-year-olds in a home. We fully support that. But the second paragraph talked about outside of the home. It dealt with at hunting camp. It dealt with at the shooting range. And 91 assemblymen voted for it. No one can tell me they can't comprehend that the second paragraph took away all youth shooting activities. It took away hunter safety classes. It took away Boy Scouts of America. It took away everything. They said if you had a hunting license, well, you were exempt from the law. But you can't get a hunting license without a hunter safety course. It wasn't until the sheriff and I got on a New York Times article that they had an epiphany and they changed the law. And by the way, when they changed it, it was 145-1. Tiny bit of input from us makes the law 10 times better. Now, 2020, here we are. I did a search on the New York State Senate website yesterday. 56 gun laws are proposed for this year. 56. When will it ever end? These are not common sense gun laws. Lewis County safe. 2016 crime data from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services. Lewis County ranked 58 out of 62 counties in the state by the number of crimes committed per 100,000 people. These index crimes include both violent crimes like murder, rape, and assault, and so-called property crimes like burglary and motor vehicle theft. Why, I may ask, is a county as safe as Lewis County with a very large firearm presence having to put up with the direct violation of our constitutional rights? It was safe long before these laws came in, and it will be safe long after. New York City values and regulations are not needed in Lewis County.
That's right. Absolutely.
Law enforcement. I have taken a poll personally. I know you all know I'm friends with the sheriff, but I went behind his back and I went to deputies. I went to village patrolmen. I went to state troopers. I went to MCON officers. I went to forest rangers. All locally, all in the last 48 hours. And to a man and girl, they are 100% against these laws. They feel they're unconstitutional. They divert precious resources, and they now have to go against the good guys taking their guns, and that's what they absolutely do not want to do. Local government opposition, 2013. This board, along with 51 other counties, sent a resolution to Albany saying, we don't like the SAFE Act. Okay? So there was a total of 52 out of 62 counties, 335 municipalities. What did the resolutions do? Absolutely nothing. It's a piece of paper, it's passed, and regrettably it does nothing. And this board, even though you've been with us in the past, has been pretty quiet in the last 7 years. We haven't seen a lot, and we're asking for it now. So in closing, only an ordinance stating that Lewis County resources will not be used to enforce the will of downstate politicians will have an effect on preserving our liberties. Remember that all persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and most of these laws take away our rights guaranteed under the U.S. Constitution. The governor uses state resources and treasury all the time to go against the federal government. He even blatantly goes against federal law, and he uses our dime to do it. All we're asking is you do the exact same thing. Don't be afraid of the governor. We can't be bought. We're not afraid of him.
Thank you, Patrick. Gordon Belay, do I have that?
Bel Air. It's GORDONBELAIR. I'm from the town of Montague. I'm 72 years old, hunted for 58 years. Had 28 years in law enforcement. I think what has been prosed, I can't be as eloquent as these gentlemen, but it's a sin. It's just an out and out sin. All these people who have a decent life and try to do the right thing, and they try to vote this out for us. It's absolutely wrong. Harry Truman had a sign on his desk said, "The buck stops here. We're coming to you." From my mouth to God's ear, that's the bet. That's the USA.
Thank you. Gordon Matthew Myer.
My name's Matthew Myer, town of Watson. That's Meier. I was born and raised in Kansas, out west. I enlisted in the United States Army in 2010 and served with the 10th Mountain Division as a combat medic overseas. And I currently serve as a paramedic here in Lewis County with Lewis County Search and Rescue. There are probably few people as intimate with the effects of gun violence as myself. I've been there, I've put my hands on people, I've witnessed it. I lost friends overseas from gunfire. But one thing is, all of us took an oath, and a bunch of other people in this room took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies, foreign and domestic. Unfortunately, we're facing a domestic enemy now who sees us to impose on these rights that we were born with as Americans. One of those that I want to point out that I have an issue with is the red flag law. Often when you're in the middle of a gun control debate, the red flag law is brought up as flawless. It's supposed to stop problems. The red flag law is based on the assumption that someone may commit a crime. Where's the due process in that? Our First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, and 14th Amendment rights are all violated by red flag laws. American citizens who are otherwise law-abiding can say something stupid on social media. Why can't we have personal accountability and say, that person said something stupid? Instead, it can be weaponized by somebody who disagrees with them. That person is then disarmed and their personal property is taken from them. Now that person goes before a judge and has to prove themselves innocent. As opposed to, in America, you're supposed to be proven guilty. But in this case, you're supposed to prove yourself innocent in the attempt to reclaim your property for something you never did. Someone thought you might. Illegal search and seizure, your things are taken, lack of due process, violation of your First Amendment rights, no free speech. You say something that someone else believes to be hate speech, and you can be disarmed. And then you have to fight, paying legal fees, standing before a judge to get your items back. In some cases, the state will even get rid of those and destroy them before you can even fight long enough to reclaim them. Absolutely wrong. And it's stealing from law-abiding citizens. You can assume someone's going to commit a crime or may commit a crime all you want, but when it comes down to it, due process is real. And our right to bear arms is real, and it shall not be infringed. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Judy Bentley.
Sorry, it takes me a minute to get out. Judy Bentley, Bentley, Lionsdale. I brought a slew of statistics tonight. I just moved back to Lewis County and retired here because I feel safe here. New York has the second lowest rate of gun homicide in all of the 50 states. I had really no experience with guns. I feel I'm very fortunate because there are people here that have had real serious, severe experience with irresponsible gun use. So I wanted to do my homework before I came. I'm a retired college professor. I teach research methods, and the statistics that I'm bringing I feel are important. I feel they're relevant, and they're from the Centers for Disease Control, which means that they are reputable and apolitical. And I'll just give you a few. The U.S. gun homicide rate is 25 times that of other high-income countries. 100 Americans are killed with guns every day. The suicide rate in the U.S. with guns is 10 times that of other high-income countries. And gun suicides tend to concentrate in states where there are higher rates of firearm ownership and broad access to firearms. 51% of suicides involve a firearm, and access to gun triples the rate of suicide. There are 1,500 children shot and killed each year. 4.6 million kids live in homes where guns are loaded and unlocked. Every year, 600 American women are shot to death by their intimate partners. Abused women are 5 times more likely to be killed if the abuser has a firearm. Gun violence costs the American economy $229 billion a year, and each American $700 a year. I feel that if the petition, which I have also read in doing my homework, is allowed to pass, that we will become statistics here in Lewis County where we're safe now.
Thank you.
I don't know, I think
Mike Mastro Giovanni.
I'm Mike Mastro Giovanni, M-A-S-T-R-O-G-I-O-V-A-N-N-I. I'm from Liverpool, New York. I'm also president of Gun Owners of America, New York. Most of my talking points have been taken. The statistic this nice lady has just brought up, take out gangbanging, suicides, because people will kill themselves no matter what, misuse of firearms by criminals, and you'll come down to the 0.0005% of law-abiding guns have committed a crime. So the statistics are based on all shooting, not all, mostly criminal. I have a sheriff back here, he can tell you the same thing. Let's look at the Second Amendment. Second Amendment says, shall not be infringed. New York State Civil Liberties Law has a Second Amendment written in it, except for the very end. Cannot be infringed. That's New York State. New York State, and these other places like Virginia now, are trying to say that state law trumps the Constitution and federal law. It doesn't. It does not. The word keep and bear. Keep means have. Bear means use. If they make ammunition laws like are being trying to be put through now, where you can't get ammunition, you can't have, that means you can't bear your arm because you can't have ammunition to use it. Again, unconstitutional. We have an out-of-control government. I'm sure there's people sitting in front of me that own guns. I'm sure there's people in front of me that hunt, but it's not about hunting. Self-protection. The sheriff is only 5 minutes away when you make the call. Being a Second Amendment sanctuary city or county means you disagree with King Cuomo. Somebody has to rein him in. And it starts with these type of movements. It's a conservative area, and it should stand up for it. You can't, the safe storage, it's, again, marked at the kids and the youth. You had youth trap leagues up here, or trap clubs. I know in Liverpool they
have a trap club, they couldn't have a trap team. Okay? It's all semantics and words. We need somehow in this state to take back our rights.
Yeah.
One of the only ways we can take back our rights, maybe separate New York, who knows? But I'm here to support the sanctuary county movement. We need it. I live in Onondaga County. I'm going to try down there, but Syracuse is a very liberal spot. So we don't know what they'll do.
We'll be behind it.
Yeah,
We'll
so
be behind it.
I've spent a lot of time up in this area. Phil can tell you. All right, it's a beautiful area. And the governor's trying to take away the shooting sports, your home. I mean, with the red flag law, you could lose everything. Another thing with the red flag law that nobody knows, you get red flagged and they take your guns, the odds of you getting them back are next to none. You'll never see them again. No compensation for them, no nothing. How many law-abiding people have you seen in jail that use their gun to hurt somebody? You don't. We're the safest people. If everybody in this world were armed in our country, we'd have the most polite society in the world. That's it. So thank you for your time. I hope you listen.
Thank you, Mike. Christina Mooney.
Hello everyone, my name is Christine Mooney, C-H-R-I-S-T-I-N-E, Mooney, M-O-O-N-E-Y. I am a resident of Glenfield. And I was not supposed to speak tonight, but I decided to respond to a few of the things that were stated earlier. One on suicides. I consider suicide a violent crime, and I also consider suicide something that we need to try to reduce in terms of number. And the problem with guns is that guns are very effective when someone wants to commit suicide. When you compare that to the number of suicides committed by other forms, sometimes people change their minds because they survive the attempt. With guns, it's often to completion. So that is a little bit unnerving for me here. Also, there are 4 school districts in Lewis County. We have children that attend daily from ages 4 to 18. And those in these districts are responsible for the safety of these children. There are now means to actually train teachers in applying tourniquets because they find that 60% of the deaths that occur in school shootings are due to bleed outs. And so to prevent deaths with our children, now teachers and school officials will be trained in applying tourniquets. We have all kinds of new regulations and rules that we're following within the classroom to try to save lives, given the school shootings that have occurred across the country. I would also like to say that New York is one of the safest states in the country. You can go to Mississippi, where not only are the gun laws very weak, but the homicides and suicide rates are the highest in the nation. I am married to an avid hunter. We own many guns. My husband has never complained about having to not be able to purchase or acquire any weapon for his sporting events. And I've witnessed that firsthand. We actually live on venison. I haven't bought beef in about 25 years. So I, as someone who is concerned about children and children's safety, ask you to listen to that side of the argument. We have kids in class now that during lockdowns are afraid, and we are actually wondering why we see high anxiety in our children. The rates are going up every year. They're diagnosed with anxiety disorders in 1st and 2nd grade. we have a responsibility as leaders in their lives to make sure that we're protecting our children, number one. Number one. Thank you.
Bill?
First off, I want to say I'm only speaking for myself. As a group, we have not discussed this, so I'm only giving my own opinions. My first opinion is you folks are a tough act to follow, and on all sides of the issue. And the reason is you're speaking from the heart. And we want to thank you for coming today. I am far from the smartest guy in the room, and I really found that out when I tried to read and understand Federalist number 46 by James Madison. That was one smart man, and he's a lot smarter than me, and most everybody in here is smarter than me. Which means that I don't know the answer. I know the question, but I don't know the answer. It could be this resolution, it could be something in between, but we need to find an answer to this situation. And obviously, Albany doesn't know the answer because they continue to pass these laws that are unwarranted infringement on our lives. It's not just the SAFE Act, it's a multitude of laws that they pass in the middle of the night, again, that affect us negatively. So I think, in my opinion, the SAFE Act is the one that's a hot button for us because it's about our heritage. And they're taking away our heritage, and we don't like it. I don't like it. And I don't think many other people do either. I believe that we should all be able to sit down and work together and find some common ground. And we all ought to be able to find some common ground with Albany. Stranger things have happened. But good things happen when people work together. Thank you.
Thank you all for your comments and efforts on the SAFE Act and the issue of Lewis County becoming a sanctuary
Chairman?
county.
I have a chance to speak yet. I'd like to have a chance to talk as the sheriff of this county, the people that are here, okay? Yeah. First, I want to thank everybody, all the citizens that are here, that showed up tonight to show your heart, your feeling against this tyrant that we have in Albany, and against some of the ridiculous legislation that's being put down upon you. I just came back from Albany today. Every time I go down there, I try to have a positive attitude. Have you spoke with my county sheriff, my county? I say chairman. I take that back. I'm sorry. I used to saying it. What I'm saying is, we've all been to Albany, and I want you to know the truth. It's not good. No. And I want them to tell you the truth. Yeah. I want your assemblymen, I want your senators to tell you the truth. They're against you down there. Yeah. They don't want to listen to upstate New York. No. And I'm upset that we don't have more of the people of our politicians standing up for the people behind me. The hypocrisy that when a state can pass a law to kill a life at 9 months old, 9 months old, born and then kill it. They want to pass laws. But they want to pass laws to prevent more violence with guns.
Turn criminals loose.
That kill far less than what they do. Hypocrisy. None of us would be in this meeting tonight. None of us would be here at all if it were not for the Second Amendment.
That's right.
A government would not be here if not for the Second Amendment.
That's right.
Right.
So I just get upset when we ignore it like we do and just say, well, they passed laws. They listen to people, they pass laws. I agree with what he has to say. Everybody should be heard. I agree with that. It should be fair representation. But that's not happening right now.
No, it's not.
It's not happening. So tonight, I support everybody in this room. But I absolutely support the Constitution, the oath that I took. I will support that way before I'll support the state, way before I'll support the county constitution or any other constitution. And no, I am not in fear of my governor. Nobody should be in fear of their elected official. So I hope he hears a loud and clear message from Lewis County.
I hope so.
We're not afraid of Governor Cuomo. I'm not afraid of Governor Cuomo. I wish that they would give us the respect that we show them every day and night, 24/7.
That's right.
This is no joke.
No.
This is no laughing matter. This is nothing about slapping people on the back, shaking hands, clapping, and congratulating anybody or taking any kind of solace in what's going on here tonight. This is the fight for your lives as you know it in a free republic.
Freedom. Freedom.
Freedom.
All about the votes.
Cuomo sucks. So please, listen to all the people in this room. Everybody. Everybody. I say that, okay? I do. And I defend all of you. And I always will. I believe that our legislators will do the same and give everybody a chance.
Yes.
One more chance. Thank you.
Sir, may I speak? I did not sign the paper. I would like to just add a few things.
I'll allow one more, and that's it. Technically, we were supposed to cut it off at the list, so.
My name is Rick Myer. I originate from West Martinsburg. And you just look. You talk about suicide and marital problems. He's letting people out for $1 bail.
Yeah.
Mike's hands are tied. Where does this begin? We can't defend ourselves. He's letting criminals out of prison that are murderers, and then some. And so we need these things all the more to defend ourselves.
Go buy them
Get
tickets
right or wrong.
to the nuts game.
That's all I have to say.
I want to assure you that this board supports the Second Amendment. We understand your concerns and passion on this issue. The board will take under advisement all the comments and requests expressed here tonight. We are aware that Wyoming County has moved forward with a resolution. We will take a look at that also. In addition, I believe the SAFE Act is itself being challenged in court. Perhaps the act itself will be struck down and the issue will be decided for us by the courts. As a word of caution, this board moves slowly and deliberately and tries to do what's best for all the residents in the county. So give us some time, and we'll take your comments and requests into consideration. We will respond. Again, thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate hearing from our constituents. In this case, not only you who are supportive, but also those of you who have concerns. So thank you all. Is there anyone here that would like privilege of the floor for anything other than this subject? on to presentations of petitions, communications, and notices.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything to report at this time.
I'll recess for 5 minutes.